Neha Shah from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today I am going to explain you about statistical hypothesis from the subject of probability and statistics from the unit of applied statistics. First topic is statistical hypothesis. What is statistical hypothesis? It is an assumption or statement which may or may not be true containing one or more population. It means we are assuming something or we are giving some statement. It may be true or it may not be true, but we are giving some assumption, and based on this assumption we are doing some process. Then this kind of thing we will consider as statistical hypothesis. Now the next point is types of hypothesis. There are basically two types of hypothesis. The first one is null hypothesis. It will be defining by H0, and it will be defining as it is the hypothesis which is tested for possible rejection under the assumption that it is true. So if it will be considered as it is true, and if we will finding that it is tested for the possible rejection, then it is considered as null hypothesis. So basically we will defining or will assuming something, then it will be considered as null hypothesis, and if it will not true, then it will consider as the another kind of hypothesis which will be considered as alternative hypothesis. So what is alternative hypothesis? Alternative hypothesis is defining as H1, and its definition is like this: any hypothesis which is complementary of the null hypothesis, then it will consider as alternative hypothesis. Now the next topic is test statistic. What is test statistics? It is used to test whether the null hypothesis should be accepted or it will be rejected. So if the null hypothesis is accepted, then it will give you some output, and if it will be rejected, then because of it, it will be giving some error. So based on this, if we are testing something, then it is considered as test statistics. Now the next point is errors in sampling. What is the meaning of this errors in sampling? Suppose if we are taking some samples, and based on this samples, if we are defining some statements or assumptions, then if we are checking whether the given assumptions are correct or not, then based on this difference, it will give you some errors. So this kind of errors we will consider as standard errors. So errors in sampling will be giving you the two types of error. The first one error is type 1 error, which will be defining by alpha, and the second type of error is considered as type 2 error. It will be defining by beta. There are basically two types of error. The first type of error is type 1 error, which will be defining by alpha, and if we are defining this type of error, in this type of error, if we are seeing that if we are assuming something which is true, but it will not accepted by any process, then it will consider as type 1 error. And the second type of error we consider as it will be false, but it will be accepted by anyone, then it will consider as type 2 error. Suppose if it will be true, then it should be accepted, but it is rejected, so it is considered as first error, right? Same way, the second thing is false. So it should be rejected, but actually it will be accepted. So this will be considered as second type of error. So the first type of error will be defining as alpha, and what is alpha? Alpha will be defining as it indicates the null hypothesis is true, but it is rejected by the test. Then it will be considered as producer's risk, and the type 2 error will be defining as type 2 error, which is considered as it will be defining by beta, and it will be indicating as the null hypothesis is false, but it will be accepted by the test. So it will be considered as consumer's risk. So there are basically two types of errors. Now the next point is level of significance. What is level of significance? The maximum probability with which we would be ready to risk a type 1 error is known as the level of significance of the test. So if we are defining type 1 error, what is type 1 error? It means the null hypothesis, it will be true, but it will be rejected by the test, right? So it will be considered as producer's risk. So how much producer will taking the risk, it will be defining by this level of significance. So it will consider as maximum probability with which it is ready to risk. So producer, how much producer can take the risk, it will be defining by this level of significance. Now the next definition is critical region or rejection region. So suppose if we will defining this hypothesis will be defining on the normal distribution curve. And as you know that the normal distribution curve has two tails. In this, if we will defining the critical region, so particular region is accepted, other than this acceptance, it will be considered as rejection region or it will be considered as this critical region. So what is critical region? Critical region is defining as it is the region of standard normal curve corresponding to a predefined level of significance alpha. So it will be defining by this rejection region. Now based on this rejection region, there will be two types of test. The first one is one tail test and the second one is two tail test. And this one tail test will be further dividing into two parts. The first one is one tail, means only one side, right? So either it may be right side or it may be left side. So based on this, it will be considered as right tail test or left tail test. Suppose if it will be in the right side, then it will consider as right tail test. And if it will be on the left side part, then it will be defining as left tail test. Now, if we are considering this two-tailed test, what is the meaning of two-tailed test? Two-tailed test means the rejection region will be on the two sides. So, it will be considered as two-tailed test. So, if we are defining this two-tailed test, it will be defining as when the test of hypothesis is made on the basis of rejection region represented by both the sides of the standard normal curve, then it is considered as two-tailed test. So if it will be on the both the side, then it is considered as two-tailed, and it will be applied when the difference between the sample mean and the population mean is tending to reject the null hypothesis. The difference may be positive or it may be negative. So we will taking the overall value in the form of mode. And based on this mode value, we will defining it will be two-tail or one-tail, and if it will be in the one-tail, then it will be considered as left-tail or right. Now the next point is one-tail test. So if we are defining the one-tail test, what is a one-tail test? One-tail test means a test of statistical hypothesis where the alternative hypothesis is only on the one side. Either it may be a positive side or it may be negative side. Suppose if it may be positive side, then it is considered as right-sided tail test, and if it will be on the negative most part, then it will consider as left tail test. So when it will be applied? It is applied when the population mean is at least as large as some specified value of mean, then it will be considered as large as. It means large means up to infinite, right? So if we are going on the positive infinite side, then it will consider as right part. Same way, if it will be as small as, it means it will going on the leftmost part, so it will be considered as minus infinite part, right? So for minus infinite part, it will be considered as left tail test. So based on this, it will gives you two types of one-tail test. The first type of one-tail test is right-tail test. Now what is right-tail test? Rejection or critical region lies entirely on the right tail of the normal curve. Then it will be considered as right-tail test. And if the rejection or critical region lies entirely on the left side part only, then it will consider as left-tail test. So if we are defining the left tail test, then it will be defining as the rejection of critical region lies entirely on the left tail, then left tail of the normal curve, then it is considered as left tail test. Now if we are defining some critical values for some predefined level of significance, like suppose if we are taking the level of significance is 1%, 5% or 10%. So for this, there will be basically two-tail test, one-tail test, and in the one-tail test there will be two parts. The first one is right tail test and the second one is left tail test. In this, it will defining the critical value for all this term, then it will be defining by this particular value. And if we comparing with this particular value, then based on this we can define that which type of tail test will be occurring in any process. So this values we will use in the calculation of the examples. Now the next point is test of significance for the large samples. Now what is the meaning of this? Large samples means if we are taking the number of samples for any test is more than 30, then it will be defining as large sample. And suppose if we are taking the number of samples less than 30, then it will be defining as small samples. So based on this, there will be two types of tests, for the large sample test and for the small sample test. So in 2 to 3 lectures, we will use this large sample test, and after that we will defining the same all the process or all the tests for the small sample test. In this test of significance for large samples, we are doing some assumptions. The first assumption is the random sampling distribution of the statistic has properties of normal curve. So as I have defined you that in the sampling distribution of this hypothesis, we will be using the normal distribution curve, right? So we will assuming that its distribution is in the form of normal curve. And the second assumption is this, that the statistics given by the samples are sufficiently close to the parameters and can be used in its place for calculating standard error of the estimate. So based on this standard error, we can define which type of tail test will be there. Sampling distribution of number of successes follows a binomial distribution. So if it will be used as binomial distribution, so we are using the mean variance value of this binomial distribution in the calculation of hypothesis of it. If X is observed number of successes in the sample and Z is standard normal variate, then the value of Z will be considered as X minus mu upon sigma. In this, what is the meaning of X? X means a random variable, mu means its mean value, and what is sigma? As you know that from the mean value we will defining the variance, and from that if we are taking under root of it, then it will give you the standard deviation. So we will use this mean variance and standard deviation to defining the value of Z. So Z will be defining in the standard normal variable. The test of significance there are basically 3 types of significance. The first one is mode Z. If we are taking the value of mode Z is less than 1.96, then the difference between the observed and the expected value of the successes is not significant. So if we are defining on the normal curve and if we are taking the values less than 1.96, means from minus 1.96 to 1.96, then in this particular area there is no significance of label. So if we are taking the value less than it, then it will be defining as no significance label. Now if we are taking the value greater than 1.96, then it will be defining as 5% of level of significance. So the next thing is, if we are taking mode Z is greater than 1.96, then it will be defining as 5% level of significance. Same way, if we are taking the value of greater than 2.58, then the value of level of significance it will be considered as 1%. So if we are taking the value of mode Z, based on the value of mode Z, we will take finding the value of level of significance. And as you know that the level of significance means how much manufacturers can take the risk or how much the producers will take the risk, it will be defining by the level of significance, right? So from this we can define how much the level of significance will be there, and this value will be finding by using the Z tables. Now this will be well defined by some examples. The first example is a coin was tossed 960 times and returned heads 183 times. test the hypothesis that the coin is unbiased, use a 0.05 level of significance. Now, if we are taking the 0.05 level of significance, it means it will be considered as 5% level of significance, right? So, which data are given to you? The first data you are given as total number of sample, it means 960 times. Now, in this, how much time heads will be occurring? It will be 183 times, right? And in this, we have to take level of significance equals to 5%. So the next data is P, means it's the probability of getting heads. If we are taking the value of P, means it will be considered as from the hypothesis, means it will be considered from the standard value. So if we are taking the standard value, so standard value means there will be two possibilities of the coin, right? The first one is either head or it may be tail. So if we are defining that the probability of occurrence of head or probability of occurrence of tail, and if we are taking the equally likely event, then it will be considered as 50-50%, right? So if I am taking that probability of getting head, then it will be considered as 1/2. 50% means 1/2. So if we are finding the value of Q, then what is the value of Q? Q equals to, it's a complement of probability. So if we are taking its complement, then its value is 1 minus P. So 1 minus 1/2, so its value equals to 1/2. Now if we are finding the value of mean, mu means its mean value. So if we will be using the binomial distribution, so as you know that for the binomial distribution, what is the mean value? For binomial distribution, the mean value of it equals to n into p. So what is the value of n? N equals to total number of samples equals to 960 and the value of p equals to 1/2. So 960 into 1/2, so it will gives you the answer equals to 480. Same way, if we are finding the value of sigma, what is the value of sigma? Its value equals to under root n p q from the binomial distribution, right? So if I am putting the value of n, p and q. So what is the value of n? N equals to 960. What is the value of p? P equals to 1/2 and q equals to 1/2. So if I am putting these values in this equation, so the answer of it equals to 15.49. Now the next thing is x equals to number of successes. How many times it will gives you the head? It will gives you 183 times, right? So number of success, it will be considered as 183. So x equals to 183. Now in this, first we'll assuming that the coin is unbiased. This thing is given to you in this example, that is the hypothesis that the coin is unbiased, right? So if I am taking that this one is coin is unbiased, so for that, what is the assumption? Assumption is that the coin is unbiased. So it is considered as null hypothesis. So first step is we are doing some assumptions. The first assumption is null hypothesis. Null hypothesis means H0 and its value is the coin is unbiased. The next thing is complement of it. So coin is unbiased, its complement is coin is biased, right? So what is alternative hypothesis? Alternative hypothesis is defined by H1 and it is considered as the coin is biased. Now the next thing is level of significance. Level of significance is given to you as alpha equals to 0.05. As you see in this example, level of significance is 0.05, right? So level of significance equals to alpha equals to 0.05. Now from this, if we are finding the value of test statistic, so what is the value of test statistic? Z equals to x minus mu upon sigma. What is the value of mu? We had find the value of mu equals to 480, x equals to 183 and the value of sigma equals to 15.49. So if we are putting these values in this equation, so it will gives you the answer equals to minus 19.17, right? Now from this, if we are finding the value of mod z, what is the value of mod z? Mod z equals to positive value of this means 19.7. Now what is the critical value? As you had given that the level of significance equals to 0.05. So on this particular value of z, we are finding the value of z from the z table. So z 0.0905 will gives you the answer of 1.96. So if we will find comparing this z, mod z is for 0.05 and for mode Z, then after comparison you can see that the value of mode Z 0.05 is less than the value of mode Z, right? So from this we will defining that the value of mode Z 0.05 is less than mode Z, then we can say that the null hypothesis is rejected at the 5% level of significance because its value is less. So it will be rejected. It means this null hypothesis is rejected. And what is null hypothesis? It is the coin is unbiased. So it is rejected. So what is the final conclusion? Final conclusion is the coin is biased, right? So the final conclusion is that the coin is biased. So this way we can assume something. Then from the calculation we can defining that it is true or not. If it will be true, then we'll consider that its answer is correct. But if it will not true, means it will give you the alternative hypothesis criteria. So based on this alternative hypothesis criteria, we can define the final statement. Thank you so much.